Since version 2.7 still has not arrived, there's not a lot to do in the way of things on Genshin right now, so I've taken this downtime to grind up my Blizzard Strayer artifact set for my Kamisato Ayaka, and I spent about 3,000 resin on her over the course of this whole month, and spending that much time grinding one artifact set is pretty common for any character in Genshin, especially if you have bad luck, but I'm not gonna say whether I did or not. So let's see how my artifacts fared. So my Ayaka is still 70 out of 70, meaning I will be able to get a crit damage increase the more I level her up, which I'm going to be doing. So I can take that into consideration for whatever roles I'm trying to get and what my final stats on my artifacts are going to look like. So take that into consideration as well. Ayaka being a cryo unit, and with me focusing on a freeze comp team, I do have kind of a buffer. You have the cryo resonance, which gives you the crit rate boost, and then you can also have the crit rate from the Blizzard Strayer, so that will also give me a boost when it comes to the artifact stats as well. All right, so we're gonna start with the flower first. So I've already marked all the potential ones that I can pretty much use for each category depending on the set. So of course I'm going to want a cryo goblet, and I'm going to want an attack sands with a potential crit damage and or crit rate for the circlet, but honestly crit damage would be better for Ayaka because I already have some crit rate buffer, as I said. So the first flower, I have some crit rate here. Let's see if I can go ahead and boost it up, and hopefully the last stat lands on crit damage. I'm going to only be working on artifacts that have both crit rate and or crit damage. So there's energy recharge. I do need energy recharge when it comes to Ayaka, of course, as well. Crit rate, crit damage, and energy recharge are the subsets I'm looking for, but as far as that piece goes, not gonna level it any further. So this one has energy recharge and crit rate, so I can go ahead and do that. Let's see if I can get crit damage on this as well. Like I said, I'm going to be very picky with these artifacts, and hopefully the rolls are with me. Ah man, element mastery, come on, why couldn't it be crit damage? It's gonna be hard to get all three substats on one though, especially because I don't really have any artifacts that have 4 substats. Okay, this one has crit damage and energy recharge already on it with elemental mastery, so hopefully I can go ahead and get crit rate from this, and that would be very good. Come on, crit rate, let's go. There we go. Okay, so we are working with something here. There we go. All right, let's see if this is going to give me some good rolls. Please, I pray. I'm gonna just go all in for this. Come on. Okay, not bad. That's not bad, but it landed on elemental mastery. Why couldn't it have landed on energy recharge? No, that's quite bad. I'm not gonna lie. Actually, I was hoping that the elemental mastery would have energy recharge. Okay, that's a pretty good piece. So this is a piece that I started leveling up at the beginning of the video. Attack percent hit and crit damage hit twice. That's not bad. It has the energy recharge stat, so if it lands on that, I would consider using this piece. And it landed attack percent again. Okay, so that's actually a fairly strong piece when it comes to attack percent and crit damage. The energy recharge is there, but it's still pretty low, so it's either between that piece or this piece. So this one has higher energy recharge and almost double crit damage. All right, come on, give me crit damage. Hey, there we go. Okay, yes, we're working. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and feed in that flower that I had. As you guys can see, I do have quite a bit of artifacts here from grinding this. So every day I've just pretty much woke up and grinded the Blizzard Strayer set. Okay, all right, that HP roll kind of sucks, I'm not gonna lie, but crit rate, it was kind of a low roll. The crit damage, there we go. All right, so honestly at this point, you know, the crit damage is what I would rather have in this situation. So let's go ahead and try to get the crit damage. So far we have almost a 20 crit rate value. HP, okay, that's not that great. Ah man, if one of those HP rolls would have went into crit damage, like if it was a 20 value, that would be something. Attack percent, okay, you know what, this is a pretty good piece for those two, but it's lacking in crit damage. It didn't land defense at all, so this piece we're not going to end up using, but it's between these two. The crit damage value is actually pretty good on this other piece with the crit rate, but the HP stats are not helpful at all, where the attack and energy is really not wasted, to be honest. Like the stats were not wasted, it just didn't fall into crit damage like I would like for it to. All right, for the sands, as you can see, I really only have one here that I've marked because, oh my gosh, all the defense stats have been horrible. Like even attack here, it's not very good. Defense, what can I say? That's all I've got. Or if I do get attack percent, it has very awful substats. I've had really bad luck with the sands, I'm not gonna lie. I'm really not gonna lie. So yeah, defense, like something like this would have been great on attack. So this is the best I can honestly get with the circumstances. So I might actually have to use something else for that. If this gives me crit damage with also the flat attack, I will take this over the other. Defense, no. Yeah, so we'll come back to this piece. Let's move on to the goblet, which again, I don't have many options because you want cryo for this. I literally got everything except for cryo. I got hydro, everything that I possibly could for this except for cryo, except for this. I got HP for this, which I think I marked this because it's the only one that had like an actually good subset. I mean, maybe this one with energy recharge, I might have to settle for something like that. The only cryo damage pieces that I have is the one, like I said, I have on Ganyu, which isn't very good, has no crit damage on it. It's just crit rate with very bad rolls. And then these two 4-star pieces that I guess I could use for now if I want to use an on set piece, so I have room for other pieces like this. So alternatively, I do have this piece, which is attack percent, and it has crit damage, energy recharge. So again, if I get a high crit damage or energy recharge value, I might have to use this. Okay, that HP value, that hurt. You hate to see that, but that's a very high crit damage roll. Okay, so what it looks like is 2 rolls into crit damage, a very high HP roll. I'm pretty sure that's 1 roll, and then energy recharge rolled a little low. Kind of, I feel like that's a low roll. Come on, crit damage. Let's go. Okay, so that's the highest crit damage value that I have for this, which also gives me room to use crit rate on something else. So that's probably the piece that I'm gonna go ahead and use until I do end up getting a cryo one. Okay, a crit damage one. All right. And energy recharge, so that's not bad. It is a defense, and I hate that I'm gonna have to use that most likely. Okay, let's see what I got. Attack, wow, really bad HP and only defense. Incredible. Oh, okay, we got a crit rate circlet with crit damage and attack percent, only a 3 stat. Okay, crit damage, let's go. 21% crit damage and a little bit of elemental mastery, which is, of course, if this would have been energy recharge, this would have been an amazing piece. So the situation I've really found myself in is that I can either go ahead and throw on this over what I'm already using right now, which is not really a good thing to do. I mean, I don't have enough crit rate though is the problem right now, even with the resonance and everything. But you don't want to be running crit rate on Ayaka. Like, if you can get it from the substats, then that's probably what's best. But for right now, maybe I could go ahead and do this. It would cut down on her crit damage quite a bit. So I'm going to ascend my Ayaka, meaning the crit damage will go up, which is very good since I am lacking in that department. So this should definitely make up for it. And I have tons of books that I can go ahead and use for her. Her attack went up by quite a bit as well, which is really, really good. So now my Ayaka is a little better than she was. My final artifact stats are as follow here. So this is my final Ayaka. I had a choice between 2 of the flowers here. This one has a lot of attack percent, a little bit of energy recharge, more than this one does with a 4.5. But this one has more crit damage. Since I'm using a circlet, I don't need the crit rate. And the elemental mastery is not needed, but the attack percent is very high crit damage. That's actually really good stats. It wasn't wasted at all. The energy recharge though could have been a lot higher. That would have been great, but I'm definitely going to use this piece. And then when it comes to the feather, I had a choice between this one or this one here. So this one is a lot better with the energy recharge again, but very low crit damage comparison, even though the attack percent is pretty high. I do have crit rate right here, which I do need still, even with the circlet, just a little bit, but the HP percent stat was very wasted on this. Crit damage is 13, so could be a lot better, but still better than the alternative since I do have still a pretty good amount of energy recharge with the Aminoma Kaguichi. When it comes to the sands, I am using an off piece because I do meet the 4-piece Blizzard Stray already, but the alternative was actually very good for the energy recharge as well, which I am going to be missing out on that. But like I said, I'm using the free-to-play weapon, so it's not too bad. But the crit damage was a lot lower than this piece was, and a defense main stat definitely hurt the damage output compared to an attack percent, which is why I have such a high attack, because I'm also using a cup that is attack, since the only alternative I have for cryo damage is literally my only cryo damage piece and it's for Ganyu, and it only has crit rate on it, which I don't need for my Ayaka, seeing as I already have a circlet. So 27 crit damage, really good roll. Energy recharge, the elemental mastery and HP subsets though were kind of wasted. When it comes to the circlet, very nice circlet indeed, but the fact that it is crit rate instead of crit damage is going to hurt a little bit. I do want to swap this out eventually for something like this is what I was going to use, which has some energy recharge, but I really am in need of some crit rate. So when it comes to that, I'm a little screwed. Even my Ganyu is kind of suffering on that a little bit, but this is the piece that I'm going to be using. So my final stats, 200% attack, which is pretty good. It's a little overkill right now because I have that cup, but it is 2000 attack, which is pretty good. 43, almost 45 crit rate, meaning I do have around 100% crit rate when you take into account the cryo resonance plus the blizzard strayer. I'm gonna be critting almost 100% of the time basically, and then 100, almost 200 crit damage, and then only 115 energy recharge. I would have liked this to be a little higher by about 10, but with the free-to-play weapon, I'm not doing too bad with that. And all I have to do to get my Ayaka almost to 200% crit damage is to awaken her one more time, and I will meet that 190 threshold, and then I'm almost at 200. So very nice, all things considered, with the way that my Ayaka worked out with the bad luck on some of these artifact main stats and substats. Although grinding for almost a whole month on Ayaka, I think that this was worth it for what it is. I'm gonna keep working on her some more. I need to work on her supports a little bit, like Sucrose and Diona. I've never really sat down to work on, but yeah, that's gonna take care of it. Let me know what you guys think of my artifacts. They could be a lot better, of course, and if you want to share your artifacts on Twitter, you can go ahead and tag me in the description down below and let me see how much better y'all's substats on your artifacts are than mine. But yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed this. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.